Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Mother's Basement, and today we are checking out Where Has It Gone? Big dumb Battle Royale anime. I like when he just takes like a genre of anime and discusses it, like we've done Isekai anime in the past, and can't remember the other one was. But what intrigued me with the thumbnail was Mirai Nikki being on there, and I dropped that halfway through. But then High Rise Invasion, which is on the thumbnail, I ended up watching the whole thing with my girlfriend one time, so it's like I got some weird taste when it comes to this. So let's see what we have in store, shall we? Big dumb Battle Royale anime.
Battle Royale is the rare
what a film.
live-action Japanese cinema that truly needs no introduction.
It's so good.
It's been cited as a major influence by Quentin Tarantino,
You can see
Wright,
that.
and many other visionary directors.
Yeah.
It inspired, directly or indirectly, an entire wave of mediocre YA
Well, there were sequels.
Hollywood movies, and in recent times it's gone on to be the namesake of the most presently popular genre of online shooter.
What an idiot.
Is well earned. Battle Royale's modern take on Lord of the Flies combines visceral action and drama.
That's a very
thoughtful
interesting way of describing it, yes.
Ultra-competitive school system, the viciousness with which some teachers tacitly encourage teens to treat each other, and the callous, inhuman way Japan's larger systems handle.
He likes it. He's already been in it before, hasn't he? That's weird, though.
Naturally, the rotten old men that the film and original novel were criticizing didn't take too kindly to that, and either ignoring or intentionally misrepresenting its themes, many of the day's conservative politicians decried it as a piece of mindless, sensationalized murder porn that would destroy Japanese society. This, just as naturally, led to major countercultural pushback, cementing the film's status as a bona fide classic and cinematic touchstone. However, the dismissive narrative that people were just getting their sicko kicks from lurid depictions of teen-on-teen ultraviolence persisted, and as anime, manga, and games began riffing on the concepts Battle Royale helped popularize, as Japan's entertainment industries do, there would come a franchise that absolutely and categorically proved them at least partly right.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Mirai Nikki Future Diary is one of those anime that only gets harder to understand the more you try to think about it.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, the god running the central survival game to select his own replacement is literally named Deus Ex Machina, which should immediately tell you everything you need to know about the level of writing you're dealing with here. But that
weird.
god is also voiced by Norio Wakamoto, which should likewise tell you everything you need to know about the level of fun that was had turning the original manga into an anime. It's not a smart show, or
it's not.
for that matter. There are many points where it attempts to unpack extremely sensitive subject matter with all the tact and grace of a
oh no, he followed me home and there's dead bodies here.
On some level, the borderline suicidal stupidity of its lead will. Not to mention its ending. Very
no, I don't know, so whatever. It just seems so over the top, it's just like, whoa.
However, thanks to its great voice cast, music, and the directing talents of Naoto Hosoda, who has a knack for finding the fun in any project he works on, even a low-rent gacha anime like Magatsu Wahrheit Swerst. Despite being the poster girl for anime edge, Mirai Nikki actually sands down the harshest or least marketable edges of Battle Royale's conceit by expanding the Death Game roster to include a variety of colorful adult psychopaths on top of a handful of students, thus creating
it's not just kids.
A sense of zany variety that both heightens the murdery fun and undercuts most potential controversies. There is a literal child who gets murked at one point, but
that
it's a
was
serial
weird.
Child, like that one baby from JoJo's, so it's totally
okay.
This inoffensively offensive
I've seen that. That was weird.
A great deal of success both in Japan and overseas, and that, of course, means that in the decades since it debuted, as many other anime and manga have followed in its bloody, stupid footsteps as those of Battle Royale. And I'm not gonna lie here, I kind of love all of them.
Yeah, let's go. What have we got?
I'll never stop singing the praises of high-minded, intellectual, taxi-type anime, but I wouldn't be in this business if I didn't want to have some
High Rise Invasion.
Fun, and nothing says silly, over-the-top fun quite like a big dumb.
What's that?
The genre's premise promises to deliver both the catharsis of watching unpleasant things unpleasant
Oh, that was the
and the thrill of seeing somewhat likable
watch that
characters
one.
to whom the target demo can relate.
Oh, Darwin's game's rubbish. No.
Not unlike the teen slasher flicks that proved so popular in America.
Darwin's game, which started off so well.
The difference being that in battle royales and survival games, there's never just the one slasher. Every competitor is a potential killer, including the almost invariably wussy dork protagonist, who will just as invariably take some non-elective badass lessons from the School of Hard Knocks in the first act, joining the Freddy vs. Jason tournament arc as a major player by the story's midpoint.
Yeah, definitely how it goes.
After
yeah.
losing a few of their saner, kinder friends. Again, like slasher movies,
Then it's
these
revenge.
tend to rely pretty heavily on formula, much of it derived from the successes of Mirai Nikki. Though in this specific trope's case, it's more a product of that show and manga's most notorious failing. Yukiteru Amano reminds me a lot of Shinji from
Neon Genesis Evangelion. Wow.
Only worse in every conceivable way and without a good story to excuse his actions.
Oh, damn.
He spends almost the entire story letting his psycho stalker classmate drag him around.
Yeah, he literally just goes, oh, okay, please don't kill me. Okay, I'll go along with this.
And partly because he's horny. And then, when he's finally ready to maybe make his own choices and do something good for once, he immediately gets tricked in the most agonizingly obvious way into making everything worse for everyone.
Ugh, what an idiot.
Fuck Yuki. All my homies hate Yuki. Just about everyone who's ever watched Mirai Nikki hates Yuki.
Oh, okay.
Which is why every death game since then has strived to make its hero the anti-Yuki.
Oh, okay.
A wee bit of wussing about and hesitancy.
Just a little bit more.
Playing
Not a complete
the game
pansy.
is almost always necessary on a protag's part to avoid painting them as a total psychopath, but we do want to see our heroes do more than cower in a corner
Yes,
while their
definitely.
butt-buddies fight their battles for them. So eventually, in the process of running away screaming, they'll need to discover some innate survival instinct or whatever that lets them excel in that game. Whether that be a Darwin's game, a magical girl raising project, or a Batum. Usually this will come paired with
I've
some
heard
sort
of
of
that.
drastic shift in their mental state. Batum's Sakamoto has a head injury that periodically sends him into a fugue state where he believes he's still playing the Bomberman meets Halo video game that the real-life death game is based on, thus allowing him to fully unleash his elite skills. In most cases, the hero will just become increasingly jaded and willing to kill in self-defense as they accept the horrible reality around them, with the caveat that their motivation is to ultimately defeat the people running the game rather than the people playing it.
Yes, that's always the thing. It's like, I'm gonna find who's doing this, and then we're gonna save everybody.
What they value most. You know, the whole, despite everything, it's still you. In some cases, the attempts to cling to normalcy can come off as strange, given the circumstances. High-rise invasions Yuri Honjo and her lesbian battle buddy Mayuko fend off dozens of colorful, smiley,
The masked people,
faces on their way through the empty office blocks and precarious rope bridges of the series' strange pocket dimension, eventually acquiring the power of literally God and an angel, respectively, yet Yuri's chief motivation, above even ending the sick game in which they're trapped, remains constant: to reunite with her precious, cool Onisama and show him what a good emoto she is.
Yes.
That is at least consistent with the series' general level of camp, though.
Who the hell's that? When did they show up?
Who is that?
My God.
Those panties.
And would you believe that's an upgrade to the typical standard of writing for women in these anime?
Wow.
See, Mirai Nikki's other most notable character was... Do I even have to tell you? There's a 99.9% chance that you clicked on this video because Yuno Gasai is in the thumbnail. Even if
She's
you
a
don't
psycho.
know who she is,
She's an
you
absolute
know the
psycho.
yandere pose in the yandere lighting. She's a franchise-transcending, whole-show-carrying icon. A bit flat in terms of actual personality. All her depth, if you
It's just the
can call it that, is
mentalness
rooted in
of her, isn't it?
endless, absurd abuse. But that works for the waifu Norman Bates thing she's got going on. The real problem is that, for obvious financial reasons, almost every anime and manga that tries to be the next Mirai Nikki also wants to have the next Yuno.
Right.
Which has led to an obnoxious trend of hack writers thinking that waifu design plus trauma equals compelling drama, and that the more traumatized-ier they can make their murder waifus, the more moe they'll be. Some times, this trauma will be related to the death game in some way, and thus actually help to drive the plot forward. Shuka in Darwin's game is ruthless to a point bordering on insanity due to her obsession with ending the game that killed her parents, for instance, but in most cases it's just an excuse to cram cheap, exploitative depictions of child abuse and a thing that will get me demonetized and rhymes with vape into flashbacks. Battle Game in 5 Seconds of Meeting takes this, along with most of the genre's other tropes, to a positively ridiculous extreme with its leading lady, Yuri Amakage. Her tragic backstory doesn't involve the R word, but does involve an abusive mother who hates her, hooking up with an abusive single dad who hates his daughter even more.
Of course.
And while Yuri's busy taking care of that little sister she never asked for, she also has to deal with a psycho stalker who eventually gets her dead, or isekai. Whatever's going on here. This has filled her with a righteous sense of rage and honed her survival instincts to a razor point, which, coupled with a special power that amplifies all her physical abilities 5-fold, turns her into a killing machine.
God, whoa.
A talent she first demonstrates in a battle against a roided-up, ugly bastard that almost does involve the R word, but at least he gets what's coming to him almost immediately.
Nice.
Well, I say at least, but one of the two main goals of this formula is to set up moments like that. Not the specific creepy part, usually, but the general extreme circumstances that give secret monsters license to put their true selves out in the open, where they
that just seems to be things like, ha ha ha, now I'm able to be who I am and put my evil thoughts into action and not be judged.
Blah. On account of how the show told you he did. Typically, the Battle Royale protagonists who aren't every boy and murder girl will fit into two broad categories. On the one hand, you'll almost always have some criminals and social deviants brought in by the shadowy organizers
because they
to ensure
enjoy
that
it.
cooler heads don't prevail and the killing will commence as planned. Most of these will be jobbers who just barely menace the heroes in the very early stages of the show before they can grow and give them their comeuppance. But there will also be a few psychos and organized criminal types scattered.
Yeah, Darwin's game, man. It's just like, oh, I'm a mob boss. Oh, he was sick. I liked that his, like, fighting them all off in the hotel.
The second category, which in some cases
Dead Man Wonderland. Oh, okay. I've only read the first volume of manga.
Many of whom will immediately crack under the pressure and either off themselves or become a liability, but a few, including Protag-kun, will prove to have unlikely skills that make them valuable allies, like, say, a business dude with a knack for diplomacy and strategy. Although, if they don't give off shonen sidekick energy, they probably...
Could you call Fate Stay Night a Battle Royale?
A few ordinary people with unexpected...
Or just like the Fate series in general, a Battle Royale? That's Battle Royale, isn't it? They're all fighting each other for the last person surviving.
Indistinguishable from the psychos and gangsters until we learn their tragic backstories, at which point they'll either join the heroes, sacrifice themselves, or both. There will also generally be one...
And again, in Fate, there's always that psycho that, like just killing people and stuff, and then... I don't know, they've been partnered up with someone in history that also will help them do the same.
Insert aspect of society that the author dislikes here.
Worst main character, pushy female character.
Times, as well as ideologies and selfish motivations that can breed evil in all times, contrasted against the bright, optimistic, cooperative spirit embodied by the protagonist. And since almost every writer who actually understands people well enough to do that concept justice is working in shoujo romance, adult drama, or Chainsaw Man, the end result is usually...
Master Aikawa supports the theory of eugenics. It possibly eliminates all those who are incompetent. Only a superior few will survive.
Not good, nor smart. But fun. Even grandiose anime speeches accompanied by gratuitous anime violence can get boring after
it's like we've heard this already.
In that violence, but thankfully that's the other thing big dumb battle royales exist to justify. Mirai Nikki's titular Future Diary introduced a fun strategic twist to the basic idea of free-for-all murder contests, giving its characters something to worry about on top of guns and knives and bombs and shit.
Oh my.
Something akin to a shonen battle power system. And every show to follow in its footsteps has followed suit in some way. In Killing Bites, for instance, the one with the sharpest fangs wins.
Whoa.
And those fangs are sharpened by hybridizing human beings with animal DNA to give them animal powers.
Oh.
How fun! Darwin King's game bestows each player with a sigil that can grant any number of powers, from controlling trees to predicting the future to unlimiting blade works. Magical Girl Raising Project, true to its name, mixes the edgy death game trend with the edgy magical girl trend to equip its combatants with typical magical girl powers.
It's violence with
which they must
cuteness.
then use to magical splash flare the ever-loving heck out of each other. These combat twists don't always take the form of an explicit power system. In Batum, for instance, victims
He's
are
liking
forced to
that
take part
title.
in a real version of a popular online combat game of the same name, where players must use 10 different kinds of bombs along with a 3D radar system to outsmart their opponents. Each type of bomb has distinct advantages, disadvantages, and use cases, and the radar system has its own quirks that have to be accounted for as well, resulting in fights with a distinct high-level esports flavor. Now, I've made it very clear over the years how much I love anime fights, so perhaps it's unsurprising that all these varied methods of murder are the main thing that keeps me coming back to this weird, mostly bad subgenre. And
Mostly
despite the fact
bad.
that it's one of the mostly baddest battle royales I've seen in quite some time, I'll admit I've been having a lot of fun with 5-second battle game for exactly that reason. Its hero is also a pro gamer whose chief strengths are strategizing and analyzing, but it actually gives its combatants supernatural powers, and his is to have whatever power his enemy thinks he has.
Oh.
Which by itself opens up plenty of possibilities for mind games, and when you add
That's
to that
really
his propensity
cool.
for analyzing others' tactics and abilities, and the possibilities of putting him in team battles, lends the show a nice atmosphere of strategic
Whoa,
tension.
that's
It's nowhere
cool,
near as
but weird,
smart as
like,
it
yeah.
wants you to believe, but none of these are, and the fact that it cuts all but the most basic gestures toward character development to get right into the action means it can offer a good amount of dumb fun per minute of screen time. Though, if I were actually seeking out a show like that to watch instead of just watching it because it's on, I'd probably settle for Juni Taizen, as its crew of 12 mostly amoral mercenaries fuck around even less before they start finding out, and its animated action, directed by, hey, Naoto Hosoda, is, at least in the early episodes, the most impressive and fun in this entire genre. It's also based on a book by Nisio Isin, who is very smart at writing dumb things, so if you want to enjoy one of these unironically, it's likely your best bet. I'd be remiss to end this video without at least noting that Battle Royale elements often crop up in shonen
I'm currently on this arc in One Piece, obviously.
And that there are also less dumb Battle Royale anime, games, and manga like Eden of the East, Review Starlight,
Eden of the
Fate,
East,
and
good.
Danganronpa, which actually do and say interesting things with the concept.
Perfect
But I'm
series,
kind of
yeah.
tired of talking about good anime lately, so
Right,
I
let's
just
talk about
wanted
some
to
bad
talk
stuff,
about
okay.
some bad ones today. Though I may use those in the future as a basis for discussing how this concept can be done well.
It can work, yeah.
Also, I didn't bring up King's Game because it's not really a battle series, and it really deserves its own in-depth roast. Until either of those happen, though, I'm Jeff Thu, professional shitbag, signing out.
From my mother's basement. Interesting. Because like I said, I dropped off of Mirai Nikki because I just thought it was just like... bleh. But yeah, you can tell that there are tropes that Mirai Nikki set that are being copied a lot. And yeah. It does seem to be quite lazy in times as well with the writing, things like that. It is just dumb though. It's dumb. If you can switch off, fair enough. But like Darwin's Game, mate, I was loving that show, and then all of a sudden it got really, really stupid, and I was like, can't believe they did this. Can't believe they did this. High Rise Invaders was actually alright. I went in there thinking it was going to be crap because like the Battle Royale stuff does seem just very stupid, and but yeah, it was kind of enjoyable. Stupid in times again, but yeah. And if you've not seen the original Battle Royale movie, Battle Royale, I really recommend it. It's good. Got some sequels which aren't as good, but yeah, definitely watch the original movie. So yeah, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask to help support the channel. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.